It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. I hope you're all doing so well on today, Tuesday, October 29th. We are 2 days out from Halloween. I was just mentioning it over on Instagram stories. I hate Halloween. Am I the only one that is a Halloween hater? Just slap it on, label me, just put it out there, put it on the hate forums. I am a Halloween hater. Know what it is about Halloween. I should be. I wish I was a spirited Halloween person. Listen, I do it for my kids. I do it for the neighborhood kids. I put the candy out. I buy the candy. I decorate the house. Our house is fully in costume, and I even do family costumes. We definitely get in the spirit. But the truth is I don't love Halloween because I find it to be a very like it's a showy holiday. Like you spend a lot of money, you buy all the things, you wake up, you have fake eyelashes, lots of glitter. At least when I was younger, you wake up, there was like a random stocking. There's always a stocking and a wig and like a random stiletto. You don't really know what's going on. And you wake up and you're like, what happened last night? Why am I here? Where did I go? Who was I? And then, you go on with your life and you wonder, why did I spend all that money at the party store yesterday? Halloween is a day just to spend a lot of money, eat a lot of sugar, and not really sure I need that, but I'll do it for the kids. So 2 days until Halloween, and I think there's other things that we can get into on today's episode. We have so many things to talk about, so many other scary things to talk about, and one of them is Jax Taylor. So let's get into it. You guys, welcome to the show. This is your daily dose of
Can you imagine? Not feel the magic. Can you imagine? Not feel the magic.
Hi, you guys. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. What a time to be alive. Game 3 of the World Series last night. Did you guys watch? The Dodgers may possibly be sweeping. We may be sweeping the World Series. What's going on? I mean, I have not been watching like the whole season of the Dodgers. We have every single Cubs game on through the season because Lance is a Cubs fan. But as LA people growing up here in LA, like I have to be a Dodgers fan. And of course, we're rooting for the Dodgers. It's wild what's happening. 3 games of the World Series, and the Dodgers have won every single game, which is pretty incredible. Now, for those of you that are Yankees fans, I am so sorry. For example, Beth says, yes, I have a really angry husband, and I am so sorry for any of you Yankees fans. Karen says that she is a new member. Welcome, Karen. I wanted to say something about that. Tomorrow, we will be doing a members only. An October 30th, October surprise, members only. What is that? We will be doing a YouTube members only tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific time, October 30th. I will schedule it here. We will be coming on live on YouTube. And if you can't make it live, you will be able to access it. But those of you that are members, you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to come on in and you can access it later. Lance is going to come in and say hi. Just say hi. Just say hi really fast. You don't have to stay. Lance brought me water. Say
Hi,
hi.
Hi guys. How we
Okay,
doing?
he has to go to work. He brought me water because I was like, I am so thirsty and I didn't have water. Thank you. All right. So the World Series game 4 is tonight. If the Dodgers win, this is what I know. If the Dodgers win, they won the World Series. They win the World Series in 4 games, which is pretty rare. I think a sweep is rare. If they don't, oh, you know what? Oh no, 2 p.m. tomorrow works because it's before the kids get out of school. I was going to say tomorrow's the World Series if it's game 5, but it's way before that. So that's cool. Okay, we will do a members only tomorrow. So put it in your calendars and we'll get deep. We'll get dark. We'll get light. We'll get tight. We'll get scandalous. We'll get controversial. We'll talk crap. We'll do all the fun things that we like to do for those members onlys. Now, I am missing some of my favorite people in the lives. Like, I have some of my faves here. I know. I see all of you guys. But I'm also missing some of my regs, and I'm hoping everyone is okay. Is it because it's election week? Is it because it's Halloween week? Is something going on that I am not privy to? Is it because I'm about to talk about Jax Taylor? What is happening? I'm concerned. Can someone check on the status of some of the people who are normally in my lives here? I'm concerned. Sharna says she was in the hospital. I saw that on our Facebook group. Speaking of, have you joined the Facebook group? And are you okay, Sharna? Are you okay? I hope everyone's okay. Now, if you are here in the live, I would like you to engage in the live comments. I need to know that you're here. As you know, I can only know that you're here if you tell me you're here. I don't have a list of who's watching. Lance gave me water with ice. And the first mistake you can make is giving water with ice for a podcast because it makes noise. Listen, this is going to really upset the haters. This is going to trigger the haters. I'm going to have to do a lot of this. Okay. I'm going to try to work it out. You guys are all here. Welcome on in. Come on in. Taking attendance. Okay. I love you guys. So let's get into some stories. Let's get into some stories and chat it up. I know. Mary says, I'm stressed over the election, no political talk. I made a decision yesterday because I was pretty disappointed in myself for going there. And I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're all too stressed, so we're not going there. So I'm just going to stress you out by talking about Jax Taylor, which I mean, seriously, is just as stressful, if not more stressful. We're going to talk about Jax Taylor because Jax Taylor decided that it's not enough that we have to watch his ass on the Valley. It's not enough that we have to listen to him on When Reality Hits with Brittany every week or every other week. Now we have to listen to Jax Taylor on a new podcast, allegedly. Like I say, allegedly, because God knows if Jax Taylor actually comes through with this. Jax Taylor is the king of the speaking things out and not following through. Don't you know that about Jax? Don't you like recognize that about Jax? Jax is someone that I find is like, he tends to be the guy that doesn't follow through with things ever. But Jax tends to be I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a podcast that's going to last like 4 episodes. Don't you guys agree? This podcast is going to be called In the Mind of a Man. Let's see, he blocked me. So let's see if I'm going to be blocked from this. When you start a new podcast, in the mind. When you start a new Instagram account, I think, oh, I'm not blocked from this. I'm blocked by Mr. Jax Taylor, but I'm not blocked by this account. So I'll follow it. Oh, I had to request to follow it. He only has 51 followers. Oh, man. He's going to have to allow me to follow it. That's ridiculous. Anyway, In the Mind of a Man is going to be a podcast that Jax Taylor is going to host. And basically, what this podcast is going to be about is, because this makes sense, right? Because we all need more Jax to tell us about exposing and decoding a man's brain one episode at a time. One thing you should know about Jax is that Jax Taylor is, uh, the end all, the be all, the Messiah when it comes to the smart, the kind of just like the icon when it comes to a man's brain. I have 2 boys that I'm raising, and with them, I look at them every night and I say, boys, as you grow up, I really want you to be more like Jax. I just like I just think Jax should be like your idol. Said no one ever. Who in the world? Like, no one should be more like Jax. I mean, and I don't mean to say this as a very mean thing, because I do think Jax has some qualities I think that are redeeming. He's an entrepreneur. He's good looking. Um, hmm, he's a good body. Um, hmm, probably makes a mean cocktail. Let me think more. Can anyone think of any more? He has uh, hmm. Oh, he can leaf blow. Remember that whole episode where he likes to leaf blow a lot? He can leaf blow. He can lie better than anyone else. He is an amazing. He's really good at coming up with stories that can be positive. He's a tool. Rochelle says he's a tool, which can be positive, right? Like if you need a good tool. Great at stealing from Vanderpump bars. Okay. Okay, maybe. Okay. He's an amazing liar. See? You can always turn a negative into a positive. Now, I saw a clip, someone else sent a clip or posted a clip somewhere, and I don't know where, and it was I think it was from Jax's or a bar, that he was at with Tom Schwartz. It was some sort of a costume, Halloween event from the weekend, and he was hanging out with a bunch of girls, and there was this chick that was on top of his lap. She was, sitting on his lap and kind of flirting with him. And the comments were like, "I feel actually more embarrassed for the girl than him. He looks so douchey, but I almost feel worse for her than for him." And I thought to myself, that's actually so true. Whoever he ends up with, whoever the next girlfriend of his is going to be, or whoever that, he dates next, it's actually going to be worse for her, because to know who Jax Taylor is after seeing him on TV for 10, 12 years, it's just not a good look. There's no redeeming qualities. It's kind of like how immediately we judge Tom Sandoval's new girlfriend, Victoria, because we see Tom Sandoval for everything that he's done negatively. And how can you date him? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Um, Andy earlier said he can get you some free sunglasses. Wanda says he's great at driving the golf cart. Oh my God. Candace says, remember the episode of VPR where he didn't want to make a mojito for a customer? Yes. He was like, oh man, I have to muddle. He was annoyed that he actually had to make a drink, like a real deal drink. Okay. If Jax and Sandoval were the last 2 men on earth, which would you choose? Honestly, I think I would choose Jax. I do. I think Jax has got it together a little bit more than Sandoval. I really do, in a weird way. I think Jax smells better. Can you imagine that we're having this conversation? I think Jax smells better because I think Sandoval smokes cigarettes. Oh my God, Josh said the same thing. He said he probably smells better. Okay, Billy says Sandoval. Andy says Jax. Um, Robin says Jax. Maddie says, what a cruel joke at the end of the world. Spooky to have to pick. Kate says, I would die alone. Yeah, I think most of us would pick Jax. I choose death, Amanda. All right, guys. Jax, Sandoval, Cody Brown. Go. Tracy said Dame. That is such perfect timing. Perfect timing because this episode of Daily Dose of Donna is sponsored by our group favorite, Dame.com. Because sometimes the world is ending and you are left between two choices: Tom Sandoval, Jax Taylor, and a little old friend in your bedside table named Dame. Guys, we have seen enough catfishing to know one thing: you deserve the real deal. And there's some men out there that just aren't going to do it for you. As Mary says, it ain't the real deal. So that's why Dame is changing the game, making pleasure something you don't have to fake. From innovative vibes to personal care products, they're all about creating a world where wellness is a pleasure. No catfishing here, just pleasure that's built to deliver. So you guys have to check out Dame.com and use the code Daily Dose for 30% off your first purchase. You have to trust me. No, like for real, trust me. It's worth it because it was created by women, not people like Tom Sandoval and Jax Taylor who are all about their own pleasure. It was created by women who know that sometimes you need more than just a good night's sleep to feel truly rejuvenated. The products are designed to help you connect with your body in a way that feels natural and, most importantly, fun. You know, speaking of like created by women because it's all about our own pleasure, do you remember that scene in Love is Blind? Remember the reunion is tomorrow. Do you remember that scene in Love is Blind where Hannah is talking about Nick at one of the at like the party where they're all dressed up in like a 20s flabber outfits or whatever. And she's telling the group of girls really loud and proud. Not proud. I mean, she's not happy about this, but she's very loud about it. How Nick hates, and I can't even say the word out loud, but it starts with a P and ends with a ussy. I can't. P, you know what I'm saying, right? And she's saying that basically, he hates going there. He hates oral. Like, she drove me insane on that show, and she gave him a really hard time about the fact that he wasn't investing in stocks and he wasn't vacuuming once a day. But that is actually that is a little bit of a deal breaker. I seem to remember Jax Taylor really does enjoy that. So maybe Jax does go up a level. Am I crazy? Wasn't there like a part of Vanderpump Rules that Jax Taylor was really into that? I feel like Jax Taylor was very into. Maybe I'm making this up. I feel like he and Brittany talked about that a lot. Oh, he likes feet. Even weirder. Jax would really like Mia. Jax and Ink have a lot in common. And Tamra. Jax and Tamra Judge have a lot in common. This is gross. We have really crossed the line. You know, they say a lot is wrong with this world, but it really all starts with Bravo. Yes, Heather says Brittany said Jax was best with his head between her legs. I can't. I give up. This episode is brought to you by Dame. I'm a mother. How do you think I got to become a mother? So if you're ready to take your self-care routine to the next level, check out Dame.com and use code DailyDose for 30% off. Trust me, it's time for some well-deserved me time. Okay. I'm dead. I can't get over what T-Bon just said. T-Bon just said that he was into Kristen's Dodie. I think Tom Sandoval is not into that. Don't you feel like Tom Sandoval is the kind of person that would not be into that at all? He'd be like, no, man, why don't you make me a dumpling latte? Or Cody Brown. Can you imagine Cody Brown? Cody Brown is like, serve me. The Lord has asked you to serve me. Cody Brown never gives pleasure. Do we think? Is that something Cody Brown has ever done to any of his 4 wives in that purple palace of love? The comments are killing me. Heather said Tom Sandoval would go down on himself. When did this podcast become so inappropriate? I'm blaming you. It has nothing to do with me. Maybe that's why my regulars stopped showing up this week. They went to church on Sunday and they were like, dear God, I have sinned. I started watching Daily Dose of Donna. Okay, let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the show. Jax Taylor makes us feel gross inside. Okay. You know who's having a baby? Gisele Bündchen. This is kind of a cool story. Giselle is pregnant at 44 years old. They say it ain't possible. In fact, no one says it isn't possible because a lot of people I know have become pregnant, in their 40s. But isn't that a crazy, crazy cool story? In the comments, let me know if you've had babies in your 40s, if you've gotten pregnant in your 40s. I'm so interested by this. So Giselle has had such a crazy story in the last couple of years. Obviously, she like had this surprise divorce from Tom Brady. No one kind of saw it coming. At least I didn't think that they were gonna get divorced. She divorces Tom Brady because he decided basically he chose football over their marriage, which I thought was pretty interesting. She ends up starting to date her boyfriend, Joaquim Valente. He was a what does he do again? He's a isn't he a jujitsu? Yeah, jujitsu pro. He's 35. She's 44. They started dating in 2023 June, shortly after their divorce. Who knows? I think they were already kind of dating before the divorce, but they came out starting to date then. And they started dating, and all of a sudden, now she's come out as being pregnant. The reports are that she is 5 or 6 months along in her pregnancy. They probably decided, he's 35. He probably said, like, I want to have another kid. So they weren't super careful and maybe said, if it happens, it happens. And it happened. And sure enough, they don't know whether or not they're going to have a baby girl or a baby boy, according to this article. Yeah, because they met in 2021 because he owns a jujitsu studio with his brothers in Miami. She sought out jujitsu training for her son and started to take classes too. And then, okay, so wait, how many of us feel that maybe she was cheating on Tom Brady with him, or at least fell in love with him? Kind of tracks, right? Lisa says I was 39. Kate says I was 39 and 45 on birth control. Wow. Holly says the baby's going to have abs. Totally. The baby's going to come out looking smoking hot. Sister had a baby at 45. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think for sure she was at least, if she wasn't physical with him, she was she was physical with him. Yeah. She was definitely she was definitely like feeling something. She was hot and bothered, right? Because the second she got divorced, they came out in a relationship, but she knew him for 2 years before that. Let's be real. She says, initially, I wasn't even considering it for myself, but when I brought my son to the first class and started talking to him and saw the way he looked, I realized it was much more than self-defense. adding that it was the philosophy that interested her the most. She said it felt very much in line with what I believe in and look for in my life and how I have a path to develop and become the best version of myself. The duo sparked romance rumors when they were seen together in November 2022 in Costa Rica, 2 weeks after her divorce from Tom Brady was finalized. She had denied that there was a romance. She said that is a lie in late March. She denied cheating on her husband at that point, but then she confirmed her new relationship. Obviously, they were together. Let's be real. Look, he's a cute guy. But so is Tom Brady. I think it's not even about looks. He probably was just like so sweet with her. And so, like, look, at the end of the day, it was exactly what she needed at the time. Tom Brady was probably, I don't know a lot about Tom Brady. He seems like a nice guy, but he was probably so married to his career, you know? Yeah, a lot of you guys agree that she gave an ultimatum. She said either me or us, either us or your career. And he chose career. And there you go. This is such a cute picture of her and her kids. How sweet. How sweet. Now she's going to have this cute little baby with him. So good for Giselle and her jujitsu instructor. That baby is going to be a smoke show. Just like her 2 kids with Tom Brady. I mean, really, honestly, very, very good looking. Chris says Tom Brady always seemed like an egomaniac. Lisa says Tom Brady seems odd to me. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know a lot about Tom Brady, to be honest. I was never like a big Tom Brady guy. He was just a big name. Very, very wealthy man. Very wealthy, successful. It's always interesting when these quarterbacks are so good looking and wealthy and popular. I know Travis Kelce is not a quarterback, but it's giving like a Travis Kelce energy when you're so popular, good looking, and like in the media and successful at football. And like something's got to give. Like something's got to give. Okay, let's go into another story. I thought this was interesting. Well, let's talk about this new show that is just being announced. Well, we got a new trailer, so let's try to watch it together. I talked about this a little while ago. At the first episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, we saw this like really interesting crossover teaser with Lisa Barlow about selling Salt Lake City or whatever it's called. I have sold on, what's it called? Sold on SLC. So the trailer was announced or, shared on Bravo TV today. And I'm going to risk it. We're going to watch it together. And I haven't watched it yet. And I'm curious if you guys are interested in another reality show, kind of a real estate type of reality show in Salt Lake City. I actually am dying to go to Salt Lake City just as a visitor. Like, it looks really beautiful to me. I think it would be a really fun place to go. If I go, for those of you that know Salt Lake, should I go during the winter when it's like season to ski season, or should I go during the summer? Because I do think it actually looks gorgeous. Let's go check it out together. Not Salt Lake, although you can come with me. Let's watch the trailer together and let's, break it down. Let me go to the beginning of it. There's a lot of secrets. Sold on SLC.
I am Jennifer Yo, CEO of Presidio Real Estate. The amount of women that create brokerages in the state of Utah and succeed, I would say 1%.
Do I look like a boss?
Yeah.
Good.
When I started the brokerage, I literally couldn't even afford a printer. But last year, we sold $1.2 billion. And I couldn't have done it without the best team in the business.
I'm feeling like chartering a helicopter, hang glide down into it. I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
Will you give us an opening prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day.
God is in this brokerage. People in Utah might follow the 10 commandments, but at my brokerage, we follow the Jen commandments. Thou shalt always be selling.
Potentially have 3 laundries.
Women in Utah County are going to love that.
We have to have a guest house. We want a spray tan station. We have to have a salon in our house.
Do you have a buyer? No? Thou shalt always be professional.
If you can't take the heat, stay out of the strip club.
Shots on the entrance.
Only in real estate can you drink on the job. I don't fully agree with our church as far as drinking and partying. Of course, I get side-eyed, but in my mind, I'm looking at them like this and then going like this. Does anyone know what this means in Utah? Are you a swinger? She's a swinger.
As women in this industry in a male-dominated state, you got to grow a pair.
What is happening over there? Yes!
And I'm talking a pair of these because I feel like women are stronger than men.
Thou shalt not steal my agents. 2 of my brokers go over to your brokerage. It feels like some shady business going on.
I have nothing to hide. I'm pretty much sleeping with the enemy. Oopsie. Sorry, Jen.
Thou shalt never let emotions ruin a deal.
You've been offended for a year?
You call me gold digger.
What I thought was a friendship was just business.
Thou shalt never speak unkindly of another agent. You don't ever tell a girl to calm down.
I don't give up. You 3 are insatiable.
Victim, victim, victim.
To tell you something wild. I have it's about a concept.
What else is he hiding?
You have a secret.
What do you know that I don't know?
You know what I know.
Matt.
Dude, my mic's off. No.
I'm so sorry.
Call me inmate instead of agent.
That's very in for 2024 black and white stripes.
All right. A lot of you guys are agreeing with my thoughts. I will not well, in the vein of this trailer, I will say thou shalt not judge. Thou shalt not judge. I will tell you this. I don't want to judge based on a trailer, but as we do, without knowing any of the characters or caring about any of the characters, I don't care about this show at all. But Bravo usually does well. So I'll give it a shot. It will be in December. It's a busy time. It's a busy time. Okay. There's a lot going on. It's going to be smack in the middle of, Beverly Hills will be on. Southern Charm will have just started. I imagine other things will be on. If it's not good, I don't know if we can give it a shot. But if it's good, we'll watch it. But a lot of you guys are saying I'm so over the Salt Lake City, the Mormon, the Utah thing. Like we feel like we've gotten it at this point. It's like more of the same, more of the same. And it's true. I feel like these things come in trends, right? The best part about these shows are when they kind of bring something new to the table. And we got Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and then we got Secret Lives of Mormon Wives back to back. Plus, we have stuff like Sister Wives, and then now we have this, and it's like it's almost so much of Salt Lake City and Utah and Mormon, and it's like boom, boom, boom. Another thing that someone said was the men in Salt Lake City almost feel like someone said something about the men. We don't get a lot from the men in Salt Lake City. Oh, yeah. T-Bone said, the men in Salt Lake City bring nothing. And I kind of agree too. It felt cheesy. It did not feel very good. It felt kind of like over the top. It felt pushed. How many times did the trailer mention Utah? It's too much, trying too hard. Okay, calm it down. You guys are a real tough crowd. I am never delivering, a show to you. But I think that I would love, I think we should be a test audience for Bravo because we're tough. We are tough critics over here on Daily Dose of Donna. Yes, OST says something that is so smart. I would much rather see Rebecca Minkoff and the Scientology crew. Yeah, if we're so like exposing Mormonism, why aren't we exposing Scientology? Let's be real. But we would never, right? We should. We really should get more into the Scientology. Okay, let's move on into other stories. We will give it a shot. Let's do that together. Can we at least promise to do that together? I will, at least, for you. Let's talk about Housewife podcasts. More podcasts to talk about. As you know, As you know, everyone and their mother have a podcast. And as someone who has a podcast, I welcome all podcasters. I welcome anyone that wants to have a podcast. I think podcasts are phenomenal. I listen to them. I love them. I am a big podcast consumer and creator. Every housewife, current, of yesteryear, future, will have a podcast at some point. And I am someone that is not sure that everyone needs a podcast. That's just my thought process, but everyone has a voice and everyone's allowed to have a podcast. What are your thoughts on Crystal Minkoff and Cynthia Bailey having a podcast? That's my first question for you. Okay. My first question is Cynthia Bailey of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's back on this next season. And Crystal Minkoff of, I think she's done 3 seasons. Am I right? 3 seasons of Beverly Hills have a new podcast called Humble Brag. I personally was pretty surprised at this decision. They are with Nick Viall's podcast company. I was pretty surprised over a couple things here. Nick Viall has a very popular and successful podcast. He gets great guests. He does very well. His podcast company, and he shoots his podcast, tapes his podcast just a couple blocks away from my house. I didn't know this. I just found this out because Crystal mentioned it. Either Crystal did or Cynthia did on Jeff Lewis Live because they mentioned that they were across the street from Islands, which is right near my house. They went with Nick Viall's podcast production company. So they have it taped and they're doing it there. I didn't know that Crystal and Cynthia are very close. I think they just met. I don't think they're very close, but it's okay. All good. Okay. They're doing a podcast together. I think Cynthia's beautiful. I personally don't find Cynthia to be like so interesting to listen to in a podcast. I like Crystal on Jeff Lewis. I find her kind of fun to listen to on Jeff Lewis. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to listen to their show. I don't think I'm going to listen to their show. But I did find a clip that someone posted, and I thought this was interesting because they were talking about, guess who they think is the most down-to-earth down-to-earth housewife in the business. The most down-to-earth housewife in the whole arena, according to Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Minkoff, is, I think you guys are going to be pretty surprised to hear this one.
On the first girls trip ever. And she actually called me last week and I owe her a phone call back. I'm going to call you back, Teresa Giudice.
Teresa's lovely.
I fell in love with Teresa Giudice on the first Ultimate Girls Trip that ever happened. It was a bunch of us and I was obsessed with her. The reason why I was obsessed with her is because I always I feel like it's so hard to do this to be on this platform.
Yeah.
And for her to carry New Jersey the way that she carried it for years, go to jail.
Yeah.
Come back
Yeah.
from jail and come back on the show.
That's right.
I feel like I'm about that life, but I don't think I am about that life.
No.
So she's just
And you don't even think about it anymore.
oh my God. And then of course I'm
She's just
obsessed with
Teresa now.
prison jail stuff. So I wanted to know what was it like?
Yeah.
And I asked all the hard questions. I was like,
We
I
should
need
have
to
a
know,
podcast of our
walk
friends who've
me
been in
through
jail.
it. Teresa, you're bringing your butt on this podcast
That's
for
right.
sure.
I had heard, I will say this actually from your show, from
She's
Ultimate
so
Girls
sweet.
Trip.
Teresa's
Kyle said that Teresa was the most, I said, who was the most that you didn't expect to be? And she said, Teresa. She goes, she's such a mom. She's so down to earth.
So not what you see on the show.
Yeah. So people who don't watch the show, I would say Teresa's probably the number one who doesn't seem like who she's on the
Absolutely.
show. And I had invited her over to my house. She had drinks at my house one night.
Mm-hmm. You know who I connected with?
Now, this is so interesting to me because most people have this really, really strong feeling about Teresa. They think that Teresa is just like this hardcore, intense, angry woman. But Teresa, I've heard this about Teresa so many times as well, that Teresa seems really nice and whatever. I found this to be so fascinating. Teresa, and like they don't owe her anything, right? Like Teresa is not like telling them you have to make me sound good or whatever that they're saying this. Teresa was online last night. My girlfriend sends me a DM last night or a text. She's like, "Oh my God, look who's live." I think it was on TikTok. And I'm pretty sure I have a clip of it here. Teresa Giudice and her daughter Gia were live selling used purses last night on TikTok. Check this out. This is on an Instagram post. This is shocking to me. Let's talk about this. Why is this happening? Here's the clip.
It's gorgeous. It's silver hardware, and it really does feel like a soft. It's like soft like butter. Yeah, it's not suede, but it feels like suede. It is lambskin. It's lightweight, soft. It can be scratched, so you have to be a little careful with it. But it can be conditioned. It comes with an authenticity card and a care booklet. Like this. So cute. Such a cute everyday bag.
You can flap the top over.
Oh, yeah. You can even flap the top over like this. Like that. Oh, adorable. Super cute. Yeah, adorable. You can be creative with the bags, wear them in a bunch of different ways. Adorable. This is great condition. Can I do Louis Vuitton above my head? Yes. Okay.
Which one?
I think this one. I'll do both of them, but actually it's all, I don't even know. Yeah, sorry. Which one? Let's see.
Did she say flap the top over? Did you guys hear that? Oh, you can flap the top over. I'm saying that something's wrong in that sentence, right? You can flap the top over. How about flip the top over? You can flap the top over. Yeah, sorry for anyone that's on the audio because that was probably painful to listen to. The problem with that clip, while it's wonderful if they're maybe making money for, good purposes, maybe charity or whatever, the problem with that is I'm concerned because the first step of seeing a downfall of a housewife was when we saw Kim Zolciak Biermann starting to sell all of the old purses and the shoes and the things in her house before the meltdown. Why is Teresa Giudice doing this? Like it's a weird look, right? It's kind of strange to do it on TikTok live of all places. It seems weird to not do it on some sort of more of an official website, like an online auction or whatever. It feels strange to do it in such like a casual LuLaRoe. It's giving Mary Brown. It's giving real dull, right? It's odd. But this is really feeling very Kim Zolciak and Brielle. In fact, I remember Kim Zolciak, Brielle selling purses. Yeah, I mean, do you remember this? This is exactly what it was like. In 2023, Kim Zolciak was selling her daughter Brielle's designer goods for up to $20,000 a piece amid her never-ending financial woes. It said on Tuesday, the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum gave her 3.4 million Instagram followers a chance to snag some of her inventory. She was advertising. I mean, we talked about it here. She was advertising the shoes, the bag for $10,000, for $700. And remember, she was saying she was accepting payments through Zelle or the Cash App. It was so weird. How was she asking for the money? Let's see if she talks about that. I wonder how she was saying it, how she was getting the money. Okay. So I wonder how Teresa, like where it's going. This is just like, it doesn't feel like we're going on the up and up for Teresa. But the good news is that she's nice, right? There's a positive to all of this, and that is that she's nice. All right. I am on the fence if I want to go here or not. Do I want to go to a daily dose of Diddy? Do we want to Diddy it up on today's show? I don't know if I want to go. Do you guys know who I think is going to have a new podcast too? I really am not joking. I think that they will. I think that Dolores and Margaret are going to have a new podcast. Is this like, I don't know if this is official or not, but I have a feeling, unless they've announced it, but I posted on my Instagram stories on page 6. Page 6 posted a clip of Dorinda and Margaret hanging out together. And I really think that they're going to do a podcast together. Doesn't that feel like a new podcast? Because they look alike in this picture. Oh, they actually are? Oh, I thought you said it is taking the place of 2 Jersey Jays. Oh my God, what if they really are? Oh my gosh. It's called the Blonde Ambition Tour. Okay, so I guess they are going on tour. They're doing something together. If they do a podcast together, do we like Marge? I love Dorinda. I think that would be kind of fun to see. It's just so controversial. The Marge, the Teresa. I mean, we're talking about how we have to stay away from politics. What about like the Teresa and Marge conversation or the Melissa? We haven't talked about Melissa Gorga in a long time. It feels like it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. Speaking of controversy, I have to tell you guys something right now, and I need you guys to stick with me. Okay. And I need you guys to be okay with me. Please stick with me through these hard times. You will not agree with everything I say or do. But I got invited to something, and I'm going. And I hope that you will stick with me. I got invited by Tamara Judge to go to her show on Friday in Burbank. I'm going to Teddy and Tamara's show at the iHeart Theater in Burbank. I will be there. And I hope you will love me. Regardless of my choices. Please. Please. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Well, some of you guys are saying that will be fun. Tell us everything, but oh my God, Cindy's saying no. No. Come on, don't be so mean. She sent me a DM and invited me. See, this is the problem. Tamara Judge is actually a very nice person, which is why I'm very torn on her. Okay. I like Tamara, which is why I've always said on this show, I like Tamara Judge. I don't understand her choices on the show. She has made horrendous choices this season on Real Housewives. That being said, from people in the world of housewives and people behind the scenes, I've heard horrendous things about Shannon. So I think I understand that for people that are in the know, like Tamara had it up to here, but the audience is not seeing her side in any capacity. They're just seeing Tamara act horrendously, and Tamara's acting horrendously. I would tell it to her face, like I'm saying it out loud. Tamara is acting awful this season. You know? And she hasn't made it any better in her podcasts and stuff. It's just been really, really bad. But I actually am friends with Teddy, and I do like Tamara in real life, and I am so interested to see what she says at the show. She said there will be special guests. I am interested to see what she will say when we're there, and whatever. Okay. So let's take some comments from the crowd. OST. That's interesting. So you think she's getting the villain edit? No, I think she's actually saying awful things. I don't think she's getting the villain edit. I think she's saying horrible things. Bridget says she's always acted horrendous with friends like her. Yeah, I don't think she's very good on. I think she acts really badly on the show with cameras up. I've said it in the past in previous seasons. Like if you go back on my show and how I cover OC, like Tamara's really shocked me on the show before. It's my duty as a reporter. Reporting for service, reporting for duty. I also got invited to an amazing event by Emily Simpson, and I was so wanting to go, but it's impossible for me to go. She invited me to an event for the premiere. No, it would be a reality. Sorry. It's a screening for the reunion for the Innocence Project, but it's down in Laguna Niguel, and it's on a Thursday. It's on the night of the reunion airing. And it's an hour and a half probably away on a Thursday night. And Lance works late and I'm alone with my kids and I just can't because they have sports and stuff. So I just wouldn't be able to coordinate. So I couldn't go, but I'm trying to get Emily on my show. But she invited me. She's so sweet. I love Emily Simpson so much. I'm really trying to get Emily on my show. Okay, let's see what else. You go, girl. Bring back lots of tea. I wouldn't go, but I understand that Donna needs to network herself out there. She's also hurt from Shannon. Okay. Listen. Just don't drink with her or you'll be next on Tamara's list. Donna's a future housewife? Hell no. I would never. You guys, you don't understand. I don't want to be part of this at all. I just want to talk about them. I just want to talk shit. You don't understand. I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in it. Sean, I want you to go the distance. The distance. Should I bring security? I'm bringing my friend Alexis. My friend Alexis is coming with me. She was at the white party when Erica Jane performed. So she's like been around all these people before. Okay. It will be fun. Billy says, Donna, serious. If you had the opportunity, you wouldn't do Housewives. I absolutely swear, hand to God, would not do Housewives. I would not do Housewives, hand to God, for so many reasons. Number one, I don't have the money to do Housewives. I really don't. I mean, like, I would be the poor girl. Like, I would not connect in any capacity with a housewife. It would not work. Like, it just wouldn't. I don't live that lifestyle. I would spend more money. I would go into major debt to be a housewife. And then number two, like what Crystal said in a clip, I don't know where she said this. She said, I think it was a clip from her podcast. She was saying it's impossible to have such a life on Housewives where you have such a big storyline every year, because if you do have such a big storyline, your life is a hot mess. Like your life is falling apart if you have such a big storyline. So you're embellishing your life. And like that's going to affect your marriage. It's going to affect your family. It's going to affect your relationship with real life people. It's going to affect your children. Those are things I don't want to do. Nothing is more important in my life than my relationships with my family, my kids, my husband. You know, nothing is more important than that. Like money will come and go, you know? I wouldn't want it to risk my marriage or anything. Okay. Yeah. And OST is right. You're too normal. Like I would get kicked off that show so fast. I would be so boring. All I would do is like come in and be like, Dame.com. Let's talk about Diddy. All right. Let's get into Diddy really fast. Okay. Diddy is a piece of Diddy shit. How about that? Diddy is just when you think it can't go worse, it gets worse, which is what is the most shocking part about all of this is it just keeps getting worse. So a few different stories have are continuing to come out. Okay. I'll just like run over a few of them. One of them is that Sean Diddy Combs allegedly hid secret cameras in his bedrooms of his homes while hosting these wild parties, which is really not shocking that he had secret cameras. And I think that like pretty much people assume that he had secret cameras. But this one woman, her name is Precious Muir. She worked also as a Playboy bunny at several Playboy Mansion events hosted by Hugh Hefner, discussed Diddy's alleged bedroom recording devices in an interview. She said, I know a property of this value. They're extremely extravagant. So you would expect security cameras in certain parts of the house because you want to make sure your stuff is safe. She said she recalled taking note of how strange it was to find that there were cameras in the music mogul's bed chambers. Why are there cameras in the bedrooms? Of course, his attorney denied the claim, saying this is a false story. But she said she recalled almost hooking up with a famous athlete in front of the cameras in the Playboy Mansion. So we were kissing and cuddling, and wait, hold on. Let me just pull it up. Yes, she was saying that there was definitely cameras in the bedrooms, in these kinds of mansions, in the Playboy Mansion, in Puffy's, in Diddy's mansions. Meanwhile, the newest lawsuit against Puffy, a new story. Why am I calling him Puffy? Sean Diddy Combs. This is a bad one, again, by Tony Busby. This is an attorney out of Texas, the one who has all of these lawsuits, who keeps coming out. This new one is bad. Again, a minor. Trigger warning for anyone, but every story about him should be a trigger warning. This one is of him being accused of drugging and raping, you guys. I am sorry to have to say this out loud, a 10-year-old boy during a 2005 audition. So this would be 20 years ago almost. So this boy would now be 35 almost years old. He goes by John Doe in the lawsuit. He claims he flew to New York City with his parents in the summer of 2005 for an audition with a rapper when the incident allegedly unfolded. In the docs filed by this Tony Busby, the plaintiff claims he met Diddy at a hotel near MSG, the Madison Square Garden. He says he rapped several songs to Diddy, who allegedly told him he could turn him into a star. He allegedly asked the child, how badly did he want to be a star? To which the accuser told him that he would do anything. Okay. This is a bad story, you guys. So I apologize, but I'm leaving it towards the end of the show. So I hope you guys are okay if I say it, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to leave out I'm going to just give you guys a little bit of it. Combs allegedly had someone from his team give the child a soda, causing him to feel a little funny after drinking it. The accuser alleged that the soda may have been laced with GHB or ecstasy. This is a 10-year-old. The artist allegedly told the child, Diddy, allegedly told the child, you have to do some stuff that you don't want to do sometimes, before proceeding to allegedly force the youngster into performing. Oral. The plaintiff then allegedly passed out and claims that when he awoke, his pants were undone and he believed he had been sexually assaulted. He claims he felt lethargic and cried for his parents. He is 10 years old. This kills me as a mother of a 9 and an 11-year-old. These are my boys. Causing Combs to allegedly tell the child he would harm his mom and dad if he ever told them what happened. Now, as a 10-year-old kid, you're scared shitless. The alleged victim claims in court docs that he did tell his parents, but claims they were afraid to report the alleged assault to police due to fears of retaliation. Reps for Combs vehemently denied the allegations in a statement shared with Page 6. The lawyer behind this law, of course, the statement from Combs' lawyer says this is, again, another lawsuit looking for media attention. It's all BS. Like someone's just coming forward just because they're just obviously trying to, get money, etc. The statement says, as we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt. Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process in court. The truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. It's pretty sick. A final story that came out is that a disgusting list of requirements for women who attended his freak-offs has been released in some way. A source told the New York Post that there were stipulations that included how women should look and weigh, etc., for attending a freak-off. They should do a weigh-in if necessary. An organizer who said they worked with the star in 2004 and 2005 said, the girls had to be young and hot, so I always made sure I had a scale nearby in case I needed to make sure. The number was 140 pounds, but if a girl was really tall, there was a little bit of discretion involved. Other requirements included no flab, no cellulite, not overly pierced or tattooed, no short hair. Sorry, I'm out. Prosecutors claimed the freak-offs involved women who had been coerced or blackmailed into performing, with some even transported across state lines to participate. No pants, no jeans, no flat shoes. Every girl had to wear a party dress, preferably very short, just enough to cover her butt cheeks, but no longer than mid-thigh. Cleavage showing. And every single one of them had to be wearing stilettos. That one, there was no exception. High stilettos. That's pretty crazy, right? Another story, which I think is really interesting. There's a woman who I know, she's a neighbor of mine. And she works in like the staffing world. And she and I ran into each other the other day. She works in like executive staffing, and like she works with a lot of celebrities and very, very wealthy people in the Los Angeles area, like lots of names And she said that she has staffed many people who have worked in his home over the years, like many people. In fact, she knew his right-hand woman, that Christina Coram woman, like his version of like the Giselle woman. She knew her well. She brought in like house managers, housekeepers, staff, like house people, like all kinds of staff. No one ever said a word. She never got tipped off of anything. She's like, no one said anything. She's shocked that she never heard any bad news about anything around that house. No one came back to her and said like, no, I don't want to work there. Or my friend said it wasn't a good place to work, or like quitting right after they started working there, or getting fired right after, or saying like, that is a bad place to work. She said it was like a well-oiled machine over there. People would work there. She never heard bad news. Maybe there was NDAs and stuff after they got hired, but like she was under the impression it was like a really good working environment. I thought that was so interesting. Where is that Christina Coram woman? That is a deep dive. If you wanted to do a deep dive, we have to learn about it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for not judging me for going to Tamara's show. In these trying times, when we are really at odds with each other, I appreciate you standing by while I continue to go to Tamara Judge's live event. And I will see you tomorrow for not only our show, but also our members only. Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.